Right, we are now live. We are now live. There's probably nobody watching right now because I was super late today. Super late. First live show, guys, since we've had the new baby. Welcome to Wade's Ventures. Those who are just joining the channel and never possibly seen me live. So I'm going to say hello to some people in chat, guys. But I can honestly tell you that it's been a very interesting week. We have a lot to talk about. I have an amazing guest with me, really special guest, does a lot of reselling, and I'm super excited to unleash her to all of us. But let me say hello to some people in chat first. What's going on, my Australian buddy? By the way, guys, he's trying to create a really cool group within resellers within Australia, so you guys should look up good stuff. What's going on, Callie? The most upbeat, amazing person. Welcome in, hip flipping mama. Thank you so much for the gift, the baby gift, by the way. I think that's super cool. So what's going on, Liberated Mommy? What's going on, Lisa, Thomas? And I think I've said hello to everybody that's in here yet. Connie, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for all the congratulations on the new baby. He's upstairs right now drinking a lot of milk, which is pretty typical. So, all right, so let's get into this, guys. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, we invite those of you who are just joining, really amazing guests on my YouTube channel. Today, I have a really cool guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself right now. Go ahead.
Hi, so my name is Yadira. I am a reseller, fairly new reseller, and I'm on a couple of different platforms, and I'm currently living down in Southern California where it is extremely hot, but it's great, no complaints.
By the way, first of all, you have a really unique name. I love that name. And I like, you can tell you live in Southern California because how tan you are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get lots of sun today. I want to say it was like 111. It's warmer than I would like, but I'm not complaining. It's okay. We enjoy the sunshine. So
you may not know this, but I actually went to school in Fullerton in Orange County, California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So those of you who don't know, I put her link in chat, guys. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Please let me know what number subscriber you are so I can shout you guys out. We've got a really cool show, guys. And again, sorry I am late. So let's get into this. I kind of want to dive in because I'm curious. You're on a lot of different platforms, and we'll get into this. But first and foremost, tell me, full-time, part-time, give us the down low on your reselling life.
That's always such a tricky question for me, honestly. I consider myself full-time because I don't work like a 9-to-5 job. I stay at home, but I am a full-time student. I go to school online. And then, of course, I have like kids and a husband and a family and chaos. So that's a full-time job in itself. But essentially, yeah, I am full-time. Well, let me put it this way. I'm full-time making 70% effort, maybe 60, but closer to 70.
That is.
So I don't apply the full 100% that I could, but yeah, I am full-time.
So you're going to school. Do you mind telling everybody what you're going to school for? Like, what are you majoring in?
No problem. I'm getting my bachelor's in business.
Oh.
And I started that. I'm actually I'm close to I'm about on the final stretch. I have about a year, just under a year left. So once I complete that, I will have my bachelor's in business. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it at this point, just because I've gotten into reselling, and that's kind of where I see myself in the future. But I'm sure it'll come in handy, eventually if I want to do like a brick and mortar store or something like that. I can certainly apply it then.
Well, first and foremost, you picked a really awesome, to major in business and then also do eBay on the side. I think that's going to help you tremendously. So what are you, so after you graduate, because I've had a lot of people on the show that they're in college and they're like, I would almost like to continue to do eBay after college. So what plans do you have? Are you planning on using this to help with your eBay and just online selling in general? Or do you have like are you wanting to open up, something different?
I think eventually what I would like to do is transition into just a bigger scope of e-commerce. So, I mean, of course, I would like to keep with, eBay and Amazon and Poshmark like I'm doing now, but I think just with business, it's so broad that you can just really apply it to anything. And I think eventually that'll fall into place when I want to really expand into like e-commerce and my own websites and my own, online store and things like that. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I'll apply it somehow, but not necessarily to get a job. I actually came from the corporate world, and I don't think that I want to go back after getting a taste for working for myself. So
Oh my gosh, you literally just hit it on the nail. I came from the corporate world recently, and
yeah,
I can never go back. Never go back.
yeah.
All right, so we kind of got the layout. I would say you go to school, you're working. That's tough. I worked full time and did eBay. What? Give us like an idea of how many platforms are you selling on right now?
Well, I started with eBay, and I started back in, I'm going to say, I think it was about October. I kind of started filling the idea out. And then in November, I opened my store and started listing and hit the ground running with that. And that was November of last year. So I haven't been at this for too long. I'm kind of a newbie. I'm just under a year. And then probably, I believe in February, I jumped on Poshmark. Joined that platform. And then just last week, I sent in my first Amazon FBA shipment. So that was kind of a big milestone for me. So those are the 3 platforms that I'm currently on.
That, by the way, congrats on that. Can you tell
Thanks.
me, like, it's not as scary as everybody makes it out to be, right?
Honestly, I was mortified when I wanted to get into it. I started with eBay, and then when I transitioned from eBay to Poshmark, that was kind of a big deal, trying to figure all of that out. And I knew that I wanted to do Amazon, and I had honestly procrastinated and hesitated because I was like, no, I'm not ready. I need to learn it better. I'm barely trying to figure out eBay. I'm barely trying to figure out Poshmark. I'm going to hold off. And then finally, I just said to myself, what am I really waiting for? I'm just going to jump in and do it. So I opened my account. I took the safe route. I did the free account just to kind of get a feel for it. But yeah, it definitely wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. And fortunately, everybody on Instagram was really supportive, and that's really kind of what pushed me to do it. Everybody was like, just do it. It's not that bad. It's okay. So thanks to everybody on Instagram. They were a huge factor, contributor to me just jumping in and doing it. So I'm glad I did, though.
I couldn't echo that even more. Like, the one thing that I started with this, I was like, sometimes I'll get stubborn. I'm only doing eBay, right? Only doing eBay. But then I keep telling this to everybody, like, sign up for different platforms, because when you're outsourcing for eBay, you might find inventory for other platforms. So you just take a one trip sourcing basically. And I think that's really, really cool. And really quick, what is your Instagram handle for everybody that's watching?
It is at aisle 37.
I'll put that bad boy in chat too, guys. And thank you so much for subbing. Number 84 in the house. We've got you up to 84, guys. Sub to her channel. She's got some really good stuff, by the way. And we'll kind of talk about your YouTube channel towards the end, because I'm a big fan. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you've seen my news on Instagram, but so basically YouTube was backlogged like 6 months from whatever reason of getting people approved for monetization. And I just found out today that they approved a bunch of new people. So those that are in chat that have YouTube channels like Callie and other people, and you may actually be approved already if you go into your settings in YouTube, guys. I was lucky. I found out this morning that I was approved, but go check it out. See if you're approved if you have a YouTube channel. All right. So let's get into a little bit. I'm curious your personal life here. Okay. You're in California. You're going to school. You're doing e-commerce. You're selling online. Tell me, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, what do they think about you reselling?
Well, we are a military family. So we move around from place to place about every 3 to 4 years. Having said that, I really wish I would have thought of this years ago, because it would have been so convenient to be able to move around with my job. And what I was doing is, corporate jobs and starting a new corporate job, resigning from a corporate job. So had I known that this was even out there, I would have started this from the very beginning. But as far as family and stuff, because we do travel like this a lot, we're kind of on our own. I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, everybody's super supportive of it.
Well, I'm really curious because, first of all, let's dive into the military portion. Like, first of all, who's in your family that is part of the military?
My husband, he is a Marine. He's in the Marine Corps, and he's currently on his 19th year.
Wow. Holy cow. First of all, can we get a round
Yeah.
of applause in chat? That is amazing.
Thank you.
That is amazing. So 19 years. That's awesome. So you are used to kind of moving around then every few years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. We're actually brand new to Southern California. We've been here for just over a year. But prior to this, we were stationed up in Erie, Pennsylvania, where it was cold, like it snowed every single day. So we transitioned from one extreme to the other. But, you know, it's nice. It's always an experience. And, you know, tying in reselling with that, like I said, had I known it existed, you know, long ago, I would have had so much more opportunities. But he's got quite a couple of years left. So there's still some time to kind of, you know, source in some different areas and things like that. But yeah, that's a little bit about, you know, where we've been and stuff.
Well, so is it hard to move around though, because you're meeting, like, you can't really like settle and meet people, or do you enjoy it?
It can be challenging, I guess, a little bit. Just because we have kids, we have teenagers, and it's usually the hardest on them because you have to just kind of uproot your whole family and go do something different. But we tend to say that it's what you make of it. So we absolutely try to make the best of every place that we go. And, you know, we go sightseeing and we do adventures, and we go out and we explore the area and, you know, try to enjoy it as much as we can. So no, I would say it's definitely an experience, and we get used to it. We like it.
So this is about reselling, but they like to get to know you as a person. I'm curious, how did you meet this awesome, handsome hunk, huh?
Oh gosh. That's funny, because you can ask me how I met him and I can give you a very long, intricate, interesting story. And then you can ask him and it's an entire different, interesting, intricate story. But that's typically, I guess, how couples do. But we actually met long ago. I was in one of my corporate jobs, and I had employed his sister to work for me, and I was single at the time. He was single at the time, and she kind of started with, you know, you should meet my brother. And I was like, no, you know, I'm not interested. I'm not there right now. Long story short, she invited me over one day and said, guess who's here? And it was just, we met, and it was history from there.
That is really, really cool. You lucky for the friend, right? The sister,
right?
All right, so
right.
Hickory. Well, I got to give a shout out to Hickory, guys. Those of you who don't know, I just talked about monetization, and you guys see that I did get one of the super chat back in the day, but I'm going to say my first super chat, since I've been pretty much pumping out videos with the, you know, amazing people. And I just want to give a big shout out. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Hickory is amazing. Not only did she do that, but she bought an item on Poshmark just to get me over the hump to get Poshmark ambassador. So I really, really appreciate everything you do for me. Wanted to give you a big hug for that. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get into this reselling journey right now. So first of all, you're complicated in a good way. You're like, how awesome are you, by the way? Like you know, you got your husband's in the military. You travel a lot, which is awesome. I would love to do that. You basically just started your journey on social media and YouTube, Instagram, reselling. Now, do you have, tell me a little bit, you kind of told me where you're at now, but where are you thrifting at, purchasing your inventory to resell?
So we're actually currently living on a military installation, and it's out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, in the middle of the desert. So that's always a challenge. However, I am super lucky to have Palm Springs is about an hour and 45 minutes away from us. And if anybody has ever sourced in Palm Springs, it is just gold there. There's any and everything. The thrift stores are all pretty high end, you know, being that it's Palm Springs and it's kind of a high end city. I share this on my YouTube channel. Times when I go sourcing, a lot of the thrift stores that I go to source at, a lot of the items are usually, they still have like the dry clean tags on them. They're in prestige condition. So I'm pretty lucky to do that. And I've kind of stuck to that venue, but I'm also about 2.5, 3 hours from San Diego. I haven't sourced there yet, but I could. And then I'm also about 2.5, 3 hours away from Las Vegas. So I know there's a couple of people that source up there, so I haven't made it that far yet. I'm kind of stuck on the Palm Springs area just because I know that there's some pretty good sourcing there, and I actually haven't even ventured out as far as I would like to in areas that I could potentially source at. So, but yeah, that's typically where I do my sourcing, is in the Palm Springs area.
So Pac-Man just said military discounts. Do you ever source on base?
You know, I don't. There is a store here where I go and look at some stuff, but honestly, I feel like it's kind of still overpriced. And being that we shopping on base, you don't necessarily get a military discount. Now, when I go to like thrift shops and stuff, some of those do offer military discounts, which are like 10 or 15%. So I definitely tack that on whenever I can. So
Amy said, does she model the clothes herself? She is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm so, you know, that's one of the things that I'm really kind of exploring right now. I know you commented on my pictures, and I'm kind of all over the place with that. You know, I started with actually started with flat lays, and I was a newbie, so they were kind of a mess. And then I moved to just pictures on the wall. And then I bought the backdrop and I started doing that. And then I kind of liked the idea again of flat lays. So I actually started doing flat lays again, and I did model a few of my outfits, and I did post those, wearing those. And I was a little hesitant because, you know, people are always like, you shouldn't, is your face in it? Is it, you know, is it actually you? I tried it, I liked it, but it's honestly so much work, you know, to put every outfit on and take the picture and take it off and put the next one on. So I do, if it fits, I'll certainly, I will. I'm open to modeling it myself. But recently, like I was saying, I really like doing flat lays. And I actually got a comment the other day, which almost discouraged me from doing flat lays, but I decided to go ahead and continue. Typically with flat lays, you want to, and I know a lot of people probably hear this, the pictures can get a little busy with flat lays. And I'll do that, you know, like I'll lay out a shirt and some shorts and a necklace and the shoes with it. But my take on that is, you know, I think common sense, yes, might tell you there's too much going on in that picture, you know, what are you really selling? But then I kind of say, well, what is it that made you stop on that picture? Or what draws your attention to that picture? I think it's your sense of fashion that, you know, initially brings you to that picture. So I kind of go against the grain a little bit, and I keep them really busy. But I mean, it's actually brought me more sales. The busier the picture, the more it sells. So works out pretty well for me right now.
I think that's really, really good insights. I want to say I did look on your Instagram, and that's what drew me to your Instagram, is the beautiful photos that you take. Like, you take really good photos. I almost want to hire you and come take photos for me. Although you're worth way more money, those photos you take are really amazing. And are you, tell me a little bit about like cross posting on your 3 platforms. Are you cross posting all your items to all 3 platforms?
I have started to, yes. Like I said, I started with eBay. However, when I joined Poshmark, I really tried to, I guess what I'll say is what I noticed about Poshmark. It seems like Poshmark actually raises the bar a little bit on kind of the expectations of photos and the things that are just listed, the quality of the things that are listed. So I've really tried to respect that and not list everything that's in my eBay store on Poshmark. So, you know, the things that I say, this is, you know, it has to be, I think it has to be Poshmark worthy, not to discredit, you know, eBay and what goes on eBay, but I think that we all understand that there's some things that are on eBay that don't belong on Poshmark. So, you know, but I do cross list the stuff that's Poshmark worthy. Yes, I do cross list it to Poshmark.
So yes, I would agree. And I find that you get better prices a little bit on Poshmark for clothing than eBay. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when I do cross list, I actually did a poll about that the other day on my Instagram, and kind of got everybody else's perspective. But yes, I do list my items a little bit higher on Poshmark than I do on eBay.
So the truth said, eBay is slow right now. I would say, like, first and foremost, this is the time of year that I like to buy the most amount of inventory because I'm getting ready for 4th quarter. And that being said, I think there's a few things you can do if your eBay sales are slow. And I don't know why this is, but I don't know. Like eBay slows could be slow. And then I go to Poshmark and put some items on there. And then some of the same items I put on Poshmark will sell on eBay that same day. And not that there's any rhyme or reason to it. I think that the main thing is if people say summer slowdown, and why that possibly may be true because people are out, it's nicer, they're not spending money on clothing, or possibly they're spending money on clothing, but it's summer clothes. And you got to understand also too, like what type of inventory you have in your store. For example, November, December, I bought a bunch of cleats. I put them on right away, but I knew that they wouldn't sell then, they would sell now. So I think that you really got to understand like what type of items you have in your store. I think that's a big part of that. But if your sales are slow, try to branch out to multiple platforms and then get yourself ready for fourth quarter. Use this time to bulk up your inventory and bulk up, at least 3 platforms. I recommend if you're full-time, part-time too. And then try to get as many items as you can on there for fourth quarter, because we both know that our phones will be flying off it will be ching, 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 ching constantly in fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, I know. So what does your husband think of you selling online?
He's actually very supportive. I kind of, just as a new reseller, I still have those days where, we have our ups and downs, and, I still have those days where I'm like, maybe should I go out and get a job? Should I go ahead and just, do this part-time and, utilize my time differently? And every time I bring it up, he says, absolutely not. And he'll talk me out of it. And he's actually, when he retires within the next maybe 4 or 5 years, we of course do anticipate doing something together, whether it be e-commerce or something, but we're definitely going to start our own business. After that long in the Marine Corps, he's definitely not going to be able to work for anybody else. He'll have to be his own boss at that point. But he's definitely super supportive, and the way that he kind of breaks it down to me and reminds me is, he tells me all the time, you're building a foundation. And I couldn't say it any better. That's exactly what I think that, when you start as a reseller and you're on all these different platforms and you're kind of, evaluating the way things work, essentially that's what you're doing, is you're building your foundation for the next couple of years, for the future of what your business is going to look like. So he's definitely very supportive of what I do and encourages me to continue even on the rough days.
Oh, guys, can we not? We have the most amazing couple, I think, here, right? I mean, we need to do a follow-up with your husband, I think, would be awesome.
Oh, he'd love that. Yeah.
So how do you keep your inventory? Like, I know that, you're staying in areas for a few years, but I'm assuming you have like a bin system and all that. Like, give us like a rundown of when you purchase the item. How do you process it? How do you list it? Do you list from your phone or the computer? Give us kind of a breakdown of how that works.
Sure. Well, as far as my inventory, I do the bin process. I think that that's kind of proven to be an easy process, and it works. And I actually, when I started, I YouTubed and saw what everybody else was doing, and everybody seemed to favor the bin process. So I did adopt that. I do the bin process. But as far as my sourcing process, what I do with that is I actually, when I do my sourcing, the first thing I do is wash it. I do wash all of my inventory. I did a whole YouTube video about that as well. I know everybody kind of has their different outtake and their different outlook on that, but I'm pretty adamant about that. So I wash all my inventory, and then after I wash, I will iron or steam whatever is needed, photograph. And then what I actually do is I photograph all of my stuff. And then I inventory it and put it away. And then I just keep like a massive amount of pictures in my phone. I'm actually kind of an app junkie, so I do everything from my phone. It's tough. At times I refuse to go onto my laptop to do, my eBay, my Poshmark, even my Amazon. I did my listings the other day from my phone. So I do a majority of my stuff from my phone, yeah.
Little tip, guys. Some people don't know this. It may help, may not. So a lot of people live in areas that there's no Dollar Trees or Dollar Generals. And a lot of people don't realize this. You can actually go to dollartree.com and purchase like stuff to wash the clothes really affordable if you're not close to a Dollar Tree or Dollar General. So dollartree.com, you can actually purchase like everything on there is $1, and you can go out there and purchase, soap or different things. And that's where I get all my stuff when I wash my clothes. Because I think what happens is when you're in these thrift stores, especially like I do vintage stuff, I got to be a little bit careful when I wash my stuff. But that being said, it's in Goodwills, different thrift stores, and like the odor does get in some of these clothes. And I've only had one instance the whole time I've been selling about odor. And ever since then, I'll just purchase a bunch of stuff from the Dollar Tree and wash it and then sell it. There's a select few stuff I won't wash because it's like really, older Nike, vintage Nike stuff. And I put in the ad, like, it's up to you to wash it. But give us your take on washing clothes. I think that's really good. There's no right or wrong answer here, but I'm really curious.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do. I wash all of my thrifted stuff. Of course, the stuff that I do that's new with tags, I just leave that. And occasionally, I got this question the other day on my YouTube channel. Someone said, what about when you thrift something that's new with tags? What do you do then? Honestly, it just depends on the condition of the item. If it does have an odor because it's been in the thrift store for a while, I'll sacrifice the tags. I'll pull the tags off, and then I'll wash it. And then when in my description, I'll actually say new without tags, and then I'll actually just explain it. I'll say, tags are removed to wash the item. And that seems to have worked fairly well. However, I don't have too much of an issue. I did the bins once. It wasn't for me. Tried it. It was too stressful, I guess. Maybe I went on a really busy day, but I was like, I don't think that I want to do this way. So usually I'll do like just thrift stores or like boutiques or things like that. So I don't have too much of an issue, but for the most part, yeah, I do. I'm pretty adamant about washing all of my stuff. And my motto for that really is that, if I purchase an item from eBay or Poshmark or Amazon, and I know that it's used, I kind of expect it to be washed. I want that kind of quality in my purchase. So I don't expect to give my customers any less than what I expect to get when I make a purchase. So, and
that's huge. Do you put in the ad that you wash the clothes?
I do. It's in the description.
Okay. I think too, like, okay, this is my opinion, guys. This is kind of what I do, but obviously I'm not like, end all be all here, but I think that there's different things that you can. So if you have a polo shirt and you just, take the polo shirt on a hanger and take a picture, even if it's a nice white background, and I do that same polo shirt, put it on the mannequin, make sure there's no wrinkles and it's washed, I can get more money for that shirt. I guarantee it over just a hung polo shirt, the same exact shirt, right? Just doing those little things to set yourself above the competition. Because I got to tell you guys, so there's a site that you use called WorthPoint. And what it is a database site that you can, WorthPoint, I use it all the time for Nike and some other items. What it is it's a database of everything that's been sold pretty much on the internet, for quite a while, right? Because eBay only keeps information for so long. And so I'll use that for really old shoes and just anything you can think of. You go to worthpoint.com, type it in, and it'll show you the exact listing of it, back then. It's really cool. But that being said, guys, I was looking at WorthPoint the other day, and I was looking at the different ads, and I was like, holy cow, these ads are god awful. They're awful. So that being said, a lot of people that's selling online now has gotten a lot better. Like their ads are a lot better. Nice white backgrounds, or even if there's no white backgrounds, like it's clear photos. The descriptions are way better. The titles are a lot better from all the stuff that I've seen back like 5-10 years ago. So I guess my point is anything you can do to set yourself above the competition, if it doesn't add too much more time, is fantastic, right?
Right.
Now, do you mind too? Can you give, I know that we have like 50 people watching. Can you give like a 30 seconds? Everybody says, hey, if I join late, I would love to get to know who your guest is. Do you mind doing that again for me?
No, yeah, sure. So my name is Yadira. I am a fairly new reseller, just under a year, and I'm currently selling on 3 different platforms. I started on eBay, then moved to Poshmark, and now I'm venturing and playing with Amazon just a little bit. Yeah.
Again, your name is amazing. Like what does that name mean? Now, who named you that name? I know your parents did, but how did they come up with that name?
Right. Honestly, I don't know. That kind of goes into a whole different story, but I don't have a whole lot of history about the name, but I always get a lot of questions about it and how do you pronounce it. And to be honest with you, I mean, I know it's unique and I do like it, but I try to avoid it at all costs. So yeah, a lot of people try to pronounce it and they butcher it. And I'm like, if anybody, and if I say this all the time, if anybody can think of a good nickname for me, by all means, please, I would love to adopt a cool nickname that people can actually pronounce and just go with.
So Ashley doesn't, I was like, if we have a girl, I'm going to name her Maze. I think Maze is such an awesome name.
That isn't, I don't think I got to congratulate you on your new addition. So congratulations.
I was literally at the hospital 3 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow, so you're doing it all.
Yes. And it was such an amazing experience, guys. I mean, I already have Cade, so I've kind of already went through that, but I failed to mention that I passed out. Yeah, so let me tell you real quick. She was getting the epidural, and what happens when you get the epidural is it's basically like, I don't know a lot about this. I just know that they do more than just give her a shot. Like there's a lot to it. And she was sitting facing me and I was holding her hand and I started getting clammy. And here's the thing is I told the epidural lady, I was like, I am not good with needles. Like, please don't explain the process. And she went overboard and was like, okay, the needle's going 3/4 in. Like, I'm doing this. And then in my head, I'm like, lady, please, like, give me a break here. So I actually passed out. Like, it wasn't like a little brief thing. It was like I passed out, didn't know what the heck happened, woke up. There's 4 nurses, 5 including the epidural lady. And then all I remember is just waking up like I was like, what happened? Because there was a gap in time. I passed out one other time from a shot back in high school. And I didn't know what the heck was going on. Like, Ashley's on the bed. She's the one in pain getting the epidural, and I'm the one passing out. So first and foremost, I felt like a big baby. But yeah, there was 4 nurses. I had to lay on the ground. And then they started shoving orange juice and apple juice down my throat. So it was a very interesting experience. And but that being said, I'll show you guys the new addition to the Ventures family. Like, he is super amazing. He puts his eyes up here, and if you make a loud sound, he's like, he flails his arms. You know, kids are fun, guys. You guys need to have. If you don't have kids now, go out and get you some kids. Okay.
Yeah, do it.
Yes. All right. So let's get into this a little bit more. I want to talk to you about your YouTube channel.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel. Tell me like what you're trying to do with it. I'm going to put guys, those that are, if you're watching this after the fact or you're watching this during live, I'll put her YouTube channel link, and my amazing admin Pac-Man will do it. What's going on, Thrifty Santa? Sub number 92, guys. Let's get 8 more people to click that link and get her to 100 subscribers so she can start going live on the thrift stores. I want to see what's over there where you're at. Possibly show me the desert, you know, like but tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I started a YouTube channel, kind of like you said, I'm all over the place, so I jumped right into everything. But when I started my YouTube channel, my intention was to share my journey of what I was doing and how my resale was going and everything along the way and in between. And to be completely honest, I actually haven't posted like a journey or an informational video here lately, just because I think that I've gotten so into what I'm doing. And especially now that my Instagram account has grown a little bit, you know, and I get so many questions. And when I posted my initial YouTube videos, you know, I thought, oh, this is fun, I'm going to do this. And I didn't really expect to have, you know, followers or questions or comments. And as my Instagram began to grow, I had linked my YouTube through Linktree. Through that. So I think that brought a little bit more traffic to my YouTube channel. But I actually started to get quite a bit of questions. So then I said to myself, okay, this is more, it kind of became more of a reality, I guess. And that triggered to me the importance of posting relevant, accurate content. And that's kind of why I haven't really posted anything just yet, because I don't want to put out like bogus information about, you know, do this or do that, or I guess that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I want to just make sure that I'm a little more educated on what I'm doing before I start posting more content, because I would hate to influence somebody, to make a bad decision or, do something because, they saw it on YouTube. So I just want to make sure I have all the right information before I post more information, I guess.
Well, I have some news for you. You are now over 100 amazing people following you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Pac-Man's laughing right now because I super chatted myself. I just wanted to see if it was possible if I can super chat myself. And it's hilarious. Like, why would they allow? How can you be able to super chat yourself? I have no idea, but it is definitely possible. All right, so sorry guys, I got all these new buttons today on YouTube. I'm super excited. All right, so first off, I think that's really cool of you to start a YouTube channel. I'm a big fan of people just documenting their journey, whether it's reselling or whatever the case may be on the internet. I think that's really, really cool. What kind of words of wisdom or advice can you give somebody that's possibly thinking about starting a YouTube channel for reselling?
Just do it. Just do it. Don't wait to do, don't wait for till tomorrow to say what you could have done today. Just get it done. Start somewhere. And I guess the same goes even for reselling. I get so many questions of should I and how do I and, can I? I guess my biggest advice would be just start somewhere. Don't be reckless. Don't go out and buy just crazy amounts of inventory, but just start somewhere. And even with YouTube, I think it's important to just start somewhere. I guess that would be my biggest piece of advice is we're not getting any younger, so you might as well just get it done. I'm super excited about this IGTV. Have you looked into that yet?
I have not. Can you tell me about it?
I actually read an article about it this morning. So I learned a little bit about it. I was kind of disappointed because one of the things that I read was that I guess just for the standard user, initially you're only going to get like 10 minutes video time, and you have to have like a pretty extensive amount of followers to get like the full hour, I guess. So the article talked about how Instagram lives are probably still going to be a little more popular because you do get that extra duration, more than the 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I did a poll earlier today on my Instagram and said, who's going to jump on it, and kind of tried to encourage people to do it because you just got to just go out there and start somewhere. But I don't know too much about it, but I'm excited to play with it.
Is it like, okay, so now you can do like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Pac-Man, brother, giving me $50. You should not be doing that. Guys, you're spending, first of all, I know you have a daughter, so don't be spending money on me. You got to buy her some stuff. But he sent me 2 hats, t-shirts, and an amazing letter, Mr. Pac-Man, the most amazing admin in the world. And thank you so much for the diaper money. It is going to be interesting because I think I told you this, but we stayed there 3 extra days because Ashley's blood pressure was so high that they have a new rule. If your blood pressure is going up and down, they have to keep you an extra 3 days. And last time they kept us for an extra day when we had Cade, and it was $6,000 out of pocket for us. And now I'm afraid it's going to be like 15,000. But that being said, Pac-Man, I appreciate it, my man. I really appreciate it, and I will definitely do whatever you need to support you and your reselling journey. So, all right. So, quick question. Tell me about the did I mute myself? Tell me about the what an amazing guy. $50, I tell you. I like how you did 99 too. That's really cool of you, buddy. So tell me about like this. I know you can do a minute on Instagram now. So you're basically saying that you're going to be able to do up to like, like not on your Insta live or Insta stories, but now you'll just be able to do like a longer duration, like a regular post basically.
Yeah. Well, it looked like from what I saw, like I said, I'm not super educated on it, but from what I saw, you just it's a channel. It's a channel that you can upload videos to. And I don't believe that it's live. I think you have to upload videos to it. It was pretty simple though. I created mine today. I just create a channel, and that was that. It was pretty simple.
Got you. So it's a completely different. I'm gonna have to check this out then. Where did you find this article at?
Yeah, I just Googled it, to be honest with you.
Huh.
Yeah, I just Googled it and it popped up. What I was looking for to see if it was, because I was curious, I was like, I wonder if that's going to be monetized. And that was the one thing that I was looking for, but it said it was not going to be monetized, maybe in the future, but not right now.
Got you. That's incredible, guys. Jump on board when stuff is new. I think that's really, really cool. I'm going to have to look that up, though. All right. So first and foremost, I want to tell you that I think it's really cool that you're starting this, not only joining social media, but reselling. And you're the first to both not only live on a base, but thrift.
Oh.
Yes. I think that's really, really cool. What does your friends and family think of you thrifting and selling stuff online?
Everybody's pretty supportive. I think when I talk about it with my friends, everybody seems to have an interest, but I think it's, it's so hard to describe intricately what it is that you do when people say, well, what do you do? And then you say, well, I sell stuff online, but so much more goes into, the details of what you do, but everybody seems to always show an interest. And then they say, well, is it pretty easy? And then when you start to explain that, no, you actually have to apply, 6 hours a day, 5 hours a day, that it's a full-time job. People sometimes lose interest, but I think it's the fear of, a lot of what I get is, well, how do you guarantee that you're going to get paid? Well, you put in the work. I think with what we do, it's a give and receive. You get out of it whatever it is that you put into it. So
now,
but yeah, everybody's supportive.
I always ask this question, but you said that you kind of watched some videos too on reselling. Can you give us like a few resellers that you enjoy watching?
When I started, I think the very first video that I stumbled upon when I was like, oh, what's this, was State's Place. And I watched several of her videos, and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of got the drift of what was going on and what she was doing. And then from there, I just, the YouTube provides a feed of next. And I want to say that I spent probably an entire month just watching reseller videos and educating myself. And I wanted to get into it. But I kind of use that as, I like to say, when you start a job, you go through a training period, right? So I saw that as my training period. I was educating myself. I was going through training. So that's kind of why I did that. But State's Place, I think, was really probably the biggest influence of what convinced me to just go ahead and do it.
And Instagram, by the way, is there any awesome people that you love to follow on Instagram?
Everybody on my Instagram.
Everybody. Let's see.
Everybody on my Instagram. Yeah, I actually, I have a special appreciation for Instagram and everybody that I follow and everybody that follows me. I actually grew my Instagram probably in the last 4 months. I'm going to say not even, maybe 3 months, from about 700 to where it is now at just over 1,500. And I think that happened because I kind of started to feel the support of the reseller community, and I started to post things about supporting each other in the reseller community. And then I grasped onto that, and I've kind of adopted the whole reseller community, reseller support thing. And I do my best to kind of, repost stuff from different accounts and different people that I follow. And I've tried to do, like, go follow this person, go follow that person. And I'm going to be doing, actually, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to start doing like a weekly live. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing my first weekly live with a Poshmark seller. She selected me last week to do I was her host pick. And because I'm fairly new to Poshmark, I panicked. I had no idea what to do. I was like, do I share this? Do I join the party? I completely panicked. So I texted her. Well, I messaged her and I said, hey, how do you feel about doing a live? Because I figured if I'm confused and I'm new, I guarantee there's more people out there that probably want to know, how does that work? What do I do when I get selected for a host pick? So her and I are going to go on tomorrow and do a live and kind of explain how that all works.
So real quick, Miss Sanchez, super chat. Thank you so much, guys. So thank you for the love. You don't have to, but I appreciate it on day one. Thank you for all you do. Congrats on your new family addition. Thank you so much. I just want to say it really does mean a lot. And if you ever need anything, both if you super chat me or don't super chat me, please let me know. I want to be here for you guys. And I think it's really cool that you were talking about the reseller community, because I find that when I first joined the reseller community, I found one video, and then another one led to another one. Then I found this person, and come to find out, like, it's a smaller community than it really is. It seems bigger, but it's actually a small community, and I think it's really cool. And I need to start doing more. We should go live together on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now that you can go live with some other people, and I think you would balance me out quite a bit. So can you tell us real quick about this host pick for those of you who are watching that don't know about it on Posh, like just like a 10-second what it is?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, that's why we're doing the live tomorrow. She's been on Posh for quite some time, and she was hosting a party and chose my listing as her host pick. And so I panicked. I had no idea what to do. I just got the notification in my Poshmark account that said, "Congratulations, you're a host pick," and like all these emojis started popping up, and it was like a party in my phone. But I had no idea what to do. Yeah.
What's your Poshmark name? I'm curious.
It's at aisle 37.
Okay.
It's aisle and then underscore, the word spelled out 30 and then the number 7.
Oh, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Can you still hear me? Uh-oh. Oh, yikes. I think I'm frozen. I don't know if you can still hear me. You're frozen. Here, let's try to refresh. Oh no, he is frozen.
Oh wait, I think we're good. We're good.
There you are.
Oh my gosh. You're the one that told me that your network connection would have issues, but mine is having issues.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, you guys can hear me, right? Wing it. I can hear Wade. I can't hear Wade. Dude, she would wing it. She's got an amazing YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to her YouTube channel. I think she's going to be a massive hit. A massive hit. Anybody that can thrift on a military base, is pretty amazing. So, real quick, what if you were to sell? If you can sell one thing online, what would it be by chance?
You cut out. I didn't get that question.
Oh, okay. What are you passionate about selling? That was one of my questions I missed. Like, what if you can sell anything online? What would it be?
I don't really have anything specific right now, I guess, because I am on all 3 platforms. I guess when I go sourcing, kind of like you said, everything's kind of is specific. You see something and you say to yourself, eBay or Poshmark, or that's an Amazon source. But I'm still kind of playing with everything out there. So I don't really have anything favorite. I mean, as far as brands, I'm getting to know what works for me. I've taken the list from the Real and I've studied that up and down, so I know what I'm looking for now. That's been a huge help. But as far as brands, I don't have anything super specific. If it's vintage, of course I grab it because we know vintage does well. There are some brands that sit, but I've actually had brands that sit for a while and then 4 or 5 months later they sell. I think eventually the right buyer comes along for everything. You just have to kind of be willing to wait for it. But as far as anything favorite, nothing just yet.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. We've switched our internet twice in this location. So, but well, that being said, I want to say I really appreciate you coming on. I think that we should definitely have you on again. We can do like the Brady Bunch and invite a few people. And
sure.
I think it's really cool that, like I said, that you're branching out. I hope everybody does that on social media. It's just like she said, there's new things coming out constantly. Now Instagram's getting in the game of kind of what YouTube is doing. So I think it's really, really cool, guys. And I appreciate you coming on board. I want to leave this on a positive note. We always do each and every one of our shows. Do you have any words of wisdom that you can give the crowd? I'm sure you've seen some of the words of wisdom from other guests, but do you have any? It could be reselling related, non-reselling related, just about life in general, positivity.
Oh God, how much time do we have? Just
How
kidding. Just kidding. I could do a whole YouTube video about positivity, but I mean, as far as words of advice, I guess for reselling, I would say, you know, be patient. Patience is a virtue, and it's coming. You know, you just have to be patient and continue what you're doing, and stay motivated. You know, what we do have, you know, and I posted this the other day on my Instagram, you know, we all have our slow days and we all have our great sale days, and that comes and goes. But what we all do have is our, you know, our will to succeed, and our determination to continue on our journeys and doing what we love to do. So don't give up on that. And in, you know, life in general, or, you know, as it applies to what we do, I guess my biggest thing is, I would say, continue to be supportive of each other. As resellers, I think that that's the key to the reseller community, is to stay positive and always support each other, and never forget that you were once in somebody else's position starting up. So
by the way, I like that last part that you said. Don't forget that you were once in somebody else's position. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that actually. So guys, it is a pretty amazing community. I want to say thank you so much for everybody that was generous, and you know who you are, and I appreciate it. Anybody that ever needs anything, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, guys. And those of you who, you know, are just joining or possibly joining and watching this after it's live, please subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's got a lot of cool stuff. I love your last video, by the way.
That was a fun one, yeah.
Yes, that was a really awesome video. I stalk all. I'm a lurker of everybody that starts YouTube channels. So
yeah, that was kind of a spontaneous one, but it was a good time, and that's what you have to look forward to when you have teenagers.
Oh yes, oh yes. And hit the like button, guys, so she can get out to the world of YouTube. That being said, guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. I think Casey Rockstar Flipper is live now, so you guys can go to his channel. That being said, guys, thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining my channel as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, guys. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you next week. See ya.